whatever the American perspective
What's your
is.
opinion? You really won't say?
No, I'm saying it's like one country, two systems. You know?
No, it's not. It's two different countries.
Really?
Taiwan and China.
Is that according to American foreign policy?
No, what's your opinion? You love China.
I think China.
If you love China so much, why don't you marry it?
Hasan wants everyone in Taiwan to be because he loves China. He's a Xi Jinping.
That's what I heard.
The next day.
Our boy Ethan Klein been getting canceled by his own fans.
Well, the thing that I didn't appreciate is just how crazy and insulting and like just insane people got because I dared to be a social democrat and not a full-blown socialist. I was called a class traitor. I'm not radical enough for you, then you've got no allies. Zero. You have zero allies.
You labeled us what? A centrist, a right-wing operative. Why? Because we didn't agree with you on certain topics.
You just got Klein. You got Klein by your own people, my guy.
They said something. They said, "Oh, look at these centrists," and they went air quotes.
They're centrists. You know?
Yeah, and we know what that means.
Kind of.
People look at you. It's not that you're an imperfect ally. You're just an enemy. Ethan Klein's been having some disagreements with Hasan Piker on their podcast, The Leftovers, on the topics of socialism versus capitalism. So him and Hasan have this podcast, right? And they've been butting heads. But Ethan's been doing his thing. You know what I mean? As a solid hater.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, okay, Ethan. These are some pretty decent arguments. Like very sound, very balanced.
You're not a hater then. If you're able to do that, you're not a hater.
No, I'm a hater.
No, there's some things you hate.
No, I'm a hater. Yeah. Like I just have to find one thing I hate, and then I just drag that shit as long as I can to really enjoy the hate.
You're petty.
Yeah.
But that's not like a hater.
That's one of the tenets of the player haters club.
Fair.
Be petty, and if you pass an oomph degree, then you part of the club. Yeah. I got a black belt in pettiness.
The foreign policy
I don't like
corner
that.
He said he wants to preempt a war against China.
He wants to like fight against China, but he also kind of wants to like leave Taiwan to China. It's like very weird.
How do we feel about Taiwan, Hasan? China or not
Taiwan?
China? Or is it China or not China?
That's the American policy. Whatever the American policy is, whatever the American perspective
What's your
is.
opinion? You really won't say?
No, I'm saying it's like one country, two systems. You know?
No, it's not. It's two different countries.
Really?
Taiwan and China.
Is that according to American foreign policy?
No, what's your opinion? What's your opinion? Taiwan independent?
My opinion on Taiwan is that Taiwan is the Chinese concept of Taiwan.
No.
It was français moi. I really thought it was me. I listened to that and I thought I was having
Hasan is talented at using a lot of words to say nothing and then look at you like you're the idiot for not understanding the fact that he said nothing.
Bro, I really thought I was having a stroke. I'm like, why am I not understanding what the fuck he's saying?
Yo, and shout out to Ethan. It's like, yo, what's your opinion? America's one country. No. What's your opinion?
Should remain in the hands of the people in Taiwan who
therefore it's independent.
Who, for the record, for the most part, just believe to not disrupt the ongoing relations with.
Why are you being so carefully footed around
Because I know that there's going to be a subreddit.
issue.
There's going to be a subreddit post with like a million fucking comments being like, Hasan wants everyone in Taiwan to be because he loves China. He's a Xi Jinping.
That's what I heard.
That's what everybody heard. Just say say what you see. This is a problem with hoax, right? Now they become so scared of the reaction to whatever action they're about to take that they don't take any action. He said nothing because he knew if he said something, it would get a reaction. That's all he was terrified of. And I'm like, bruv, you're a political commentator. I could understand it from the regular man. This is your goddamn job.
It's your money.
But this dude wants to rub hands with people and be so diplomatic all the time. That's why people kind of look at him. He's like, he's a big phony. He's just so concerned with the perception of everything he does when his job is to take political stances. You're not a politician. You're a political commentator. Do your job. And even Ethan, that's not his job. He's like taking a stronger stance. He's like, stop being a coward.
That's what it's already over. You asked me that question like in jest, and it's gonna already
No, I
go
was
there.
genuinely curious what you think about it.
I think that
Hasan Piker am using a
I think that overall it's its contemporary history is complex. At the end of the day, if the Taiwanese citizens would ever put this up for a vote and we're like, we want to fucking be an independent nation, it's up to them. You know what I mean?
They
You
already
can't.
done that?
No, there is no.
No, what Hasan said is true from everything I've read. That most people in Taiwan nowadays support just keeping the status quo.
Yeah, they probably do because they saw what happened to Hong Kong. They probably do because they don't want China to barrel in because they know nobody gonna stop them. If you being honest, most countries want to be their independent. They don't want to have to be dependent, but they also don't want to see their family members get murked. They don't want to see their whole villages get razed to the ground. So they acquiesce. Oh yeah, most want. Why do they want to maintain the status quo? Is it because they're happy being part of China, or is it because they don't want to disappear?
Like the original inception of the country is
Taiwan.
is a fascist dictatorship that America recognized as the real China until Richard Nixon normalized relations with China, and that's where they implemented the they call it strategic ambiguity, which I call lying.
Strategic ambiguity. You mean what you're doing when you're trying to answer a question?
Taiwan is already independent. That's what I'm saying. People don't want a formal declaration just because they don't want a fucking war. But they're not wanting to be Hong Kong and be consumed by the Chinese party.
You don't want to be Hong Kong? What happened in Hong Kong?
Am I saying the right place?
No, but overall, if you look at the situation in Hong Kong right now, it's like they claimed that it was going to be devastating, and that has not happened.
Not that we know of, because they have no freedom of speech anymore.
Okay.
They can't talk. They lost
that
their
part
right.
is true. You're right. Having said that, you can just go to Hong Kong, and you can just go to every part of China pretty much and see for yourself. This is no longer like the North Korea style hermit kingdom where like
I don't think anybody's saying it's North Korea. They're just saying it's really, really fucking evil.
It's not because it's
It's like when you know some dude's beating his wife, and you're like, no, they're fine. You can go there for dinner and everything's calm.
she's not dead.
I didn't see any bruises on her.
Yeah, because he punches the tit and the body where nobody sees it.
we have
Regardless.
we have a shit ton of Chinese people that live in America. And
Regardless,
a shit ton of
bro, it's
American
not
people live
that
in China.
they had rights. They don't have rights now. They lost a lot of rights. But whatever. I mean, you're. This is interesting that you're very soft. You're very soft-footed around the issue of China. You love China.
I think China.
If you love
deserves-
China so much, why don't you marry it?
C'est tellement childish. If you love China so much, why don't you suck its dick?
Yo, shout out to Ethan. This is the most based he's been in a long time. Actually, no, that's a lie. Him and Just Pearly think is also great. But this is amazing.
overall, that kind of mechanism of control is one that I do not appreciate personally, which is why I choose to live here. But as far as like cruelty, oppression, like what you're talking about with respect to Hong Kong, the promises that Western media overall made about like how China was going to crush Hong Kong under its like ruthless, oppressive thumb has not happened.
I don't think that was the point. I think the point was just that there's whoever was, vocal about wanting to maintain certain rights in Hong Kong was probably thrown in a secret prison and never heard from again.
I mean, certainly there was political dissidents are definitely.
Hey, shout out to Ethan. I gotta give him some credit. I'm not gonna I gotta give him some credit. But okay. Also, we got a Discord. We got a Reddit.
Yo.
Links in the description below. Go check them out. Otherwise, we also have a video editing contest. We're hiring an editor. If you want to be part of it, go to and basically edit your own video of Abba and Preach, upload it to TikTok, right, with the caption Abba and Preach video contest. And from there, we'll check you out. We might hire you on full time. Remote job. Let's go.
Great luck.
I know that I'm a capitalist, and so I've been trying to think like, how do you square that with my other like socialist ideas? Socialist, communist idea that people want is like just a pipe dream.
Yeah, I don't really. Do you really want to get into this right now?
I don't mind.
Essentially, what I'm asking is, do you think democracy is a good thing, and do you think democracy is what helps prevent?
Yeah.
So, what if we ran companies that way? Because companies aren't democracies. They're totalitarian.
First of all, usually how are companies made? Usually,
Are you saying like an entrepreneur starts a small business?
like
or something?
Apple. Let's just take Apple or Google.
Right.
It's made by 3-4 people. Apple, and over the years, it's growing. And so, how do you run Apple?
At what point does it become like subject to public opinion on who's going to run it and
That's
stuff
just-
like that? At what point does it get big enough
Right.
to
That's
make
a good
those
question.
So
decisions?
this is where they get into the discussion now, where they start debating the merits of socialism versus capitalism, right? And the fan base loses it. Fan base is like, oh, Ethan, they start going crazy about the fact that he's pro-capitalism. And he asked some good questions. Like throughout the whole thing, he asked like, all right, like what are we going to take away companies and just start redistributing it to everyone? Like, how do you guys want this to happen? And it's like some good questions. And then he posted something.
Yeah, obviously Friday was kind of crazy. I'm going to talk about it. I don't know if I should talk about it tomorrow on Thursday, because I want to talk with Hasan and Dan about it. I have more questions. I have a thirst for knowledge. As you guys know, I'm just a voracious learner, and I care about the people. I have questions. Well, the thing that I didn't appreciate is just how crazy and insulting and like just insane people got, because I dared to be a social democrat and not a full-blown socialist. And so to some people I was called a class traitor, I guess. I'm not radical enough for you, then you've got no allies. Zero. You have zero allies. 95% of the country is not more radical than me, I guarantee that.
He feels bothered by the fact that people are calling him a traitor just for disagreeing on some points. I understand the feeling. Absolutely. I remember a time when I disagreed with Ethan and he called me a centrist or a right-winger, all because I didn't agree with everything he had to say in regards to the left. They said something. They said, oh, look at these centrists, and they went air quotes.
They're centrists, you know?
Yeah, and we know
Kind
what
of.
that means.
Kind of.
When they say
didn't see
centrist like this with air
Oh,
quotes,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
they're trying to say they're not actually
They're
centrist.
centrist.
They're saying we're right.
We're right. Yeah, you're right.
The irony of all this whole thing is that politically speaking, we have way more in common with these two people than we would with anyone on the right. Right? People look at you. It's not that you're an imperfect ally. You're just an enemy. The moment you disagree, you're not like an ally who I disagree with. You're not like this person on the same team who we just have a different vision to some degree. You're an enemy immediately.
Yeah. Please do not take these political conversations so personally. Being called a class traitor 1,000 times because I'm only a social democrat and not a full socialist makes me not want to have convos like this anymore, which is probably the least productive outcome. Funny. Very funny that you say that, because I think it's whack that people are doing that, whatever, but that's what you do. That's you. That is 100% you and the people that are following you.
You labeled us what? A centrist, a right-wing operative. Why? Because we didn't agree with you on certain topics. Now all of a sudden you disagree with your fan base on something a little bit political and you get cast aside as some fucking bigger or whatever it is that they're calling you right now. Right? It's just interesting how that mirrored a lot.
You just got Klein. You got Klein by your own people, my guy. Like, that's what you do. That is 100% what you do.
Absolutely.
So whenever we don't agree with something, and then after that, you're gonna do some intellectual shortcuts, not watch videos, and make your opinion on some. At least they saw what. At least the people that are calling you a traitor and this and that and whatever, actually listened to what you said and then called you that. You, on the other hand, what you do is you go on calling people whatever, not watching their content. You're worse than these people. They actually listen to you, my guy.
Here's the thing. Today, I'm not going to be petty. This is what I will say. I'm not. We made that video before. What we said was, we can't be an imperfect ally. We have to be the enemy. I think that was like the title of the video. We talked about how we felt very ostracized politically from the left because of people like Ethan Klein and a lot of these people who've co-opted what leftists, right?
Uh-huh.
And who routinely kick people out for not agreeing with everything.
Yes.
Now you're going through the same treatment. I'm not going to wish it on you. Even though it feels kind of good on the inside, low-key, I do think it's whack. Because at the end of the day, I do think you were advocating for positions that made sense and that were strong. And it's a shame that they weren't even open to that, and they were convinced so much that they had the right idea that they immediately went to mock and laugh at you, right? Or to ostracize you or to call you names. I think that's whack, personally. Because beyond my petty feelings, I do think a lot of what you're saying right now makes a lot of sense to me as well. Yeah, hopefully you don't stop talking about these things, because I think you're fostering an audience that is becoming more radical in terms of its socialist ideas, and it's good to have a bit of balance in terms of a voice that's different and not just some echo chamber to be like, redistribute the wealth, bro. I think it's good to have people involved who feel differently and share that perspective.
I don't care. You did this. That's you. That's what you did. You created and you fostered these people, and then you made them grow into this. And now they turn on you. That's just you. You was a parasite that made other parasite, and now those parasites are chomping on you. That's what you did.
Okay. You want to give 10 more metaphors for the same thing?
I got a couple of more. Watch. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. That's what you did. So I don't really care. I'm not wishing it on you. I don't have to wish it on you. It's happening. It's going to pass, but it's happening. It was bound to happen.
And I hope this is a good lesson to everybody watching.
It's not a lesson to nobody. Nobody's going to learn
No,
from
I think
this.
there is a real lesson.
I think it's a lesson,
I think there's
but-
people who are watching who are taking this in. Okay, there's plenty of viewers who are like, "Oh wait, I do think this behavior is kind of crazy." And sometimes it's not happened. It's not until it happens to a creator or person close to you or someone that you really like that you realize, like, "Oh shit, this might be a problem." So hopefully everybody takes this
but it's
in.
just,
Let's be
I
careful.
understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying you created this. 100%
We get that.
of
We
that.
just said,
but then again, you're gonna do all of that, and I'm gonna be like, oh well, I have a little bit of sympathy. I'm like, man.
You don't have to have sympathy. Nobody asked you to have do that. You don't have. You do whatever you want. You want to be petty, be petty. Heaven knows I do it.
That is
being petty.
Maybe that's
Absolutely.
Maybe,
If you're not advocating for what is right in the moment or for the positions that are correct because you said, well, you get what you get, that's fine. That's fine. But you're not advocating for the world that you actually want to see.
I'm not saying that's not. I'm saying I'm not being petty. I understand what he's saying, and he is right on some point. I got that. But the fact that you go, at least the people, they listen to you. And they don't agree. And now I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to happen. That's what you want. I think all of those things can coexist. I don't think it should happen to you. But here we are. And yeah, you can get it.
Maybe you agree with me, maybe you agree with Preach, maybe you agree with both. It's okay. At the end of the day, you're never going to see me being out here being like, oh.
No, we agree, bro. I just include my other side. My other side, my you can get it side.
Maybe we agree in your head, but like what came out of your mouth was just like petty, petty, petty. Petty, 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 petty. Petty wop. Petty wop. Petty wop. That's what came out. But I believe that we're actually on the same point.
Wow.
Yeah,
Petty wop.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
But
I really do believe we agree.
I'm telling you,
Yes.
I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
You are right. You can get it.
I'm mad at that. At any rate, all this to say, this was a bit of a longer video, but yes, go check it out.
Petty wop.